I'm not doing anything like super technical today. This won't be a tutorial. This is actually kind of like me connecting the dots, how this all works. So I'm going to have some discussion about my studio setup and some of the issues I've had to solve or work around. And I'm going to break this workflow down into steps or like modular parts. So each part has its own headaches, and each part, might eventually get swapped out for another process in the future, either to improve it or, because I want to do something else with the workflow. So as usual, I'm just going to name all the steps first, so you know what I'm covering in this video, and then I'll go back and talk about each one as briefly as I can. So this is like the 10,000 mile view of the whole entire process, and I'm going to tell you my honest opinion, good and bad, at each step, and then I'll give you, my final tips and tricks. I don't know. I'm just going to wing it. So, look, guys, just so you understand, my goal is not to tell you how to do this, but really just to kind of demystify the process behind the scenes so you can do this. So if you understand the concepts, then hopefully you can solve your own issues and come up with your own workflow solutions. Okay, so it's February 2020. Software information is going to change. Hardware information will change too, just not as fast. And let's get to the list of the things that you need. So obviously you need an iPhone 10 or an iOS device with a true depth sensor. I'm using Banaflex Face Cap to capture and transmit the facial blend shape data. You're going to need a Wi-Fi connection between the iPhone and the computer. And yeah, this was actually like a glitch for me that I was unaware. So definitely listen to what I have to say here. Then you're going to need Unity running first you're going to do this in the editor. And then eventually you're going to build a standalone project. That's what you're looking at here, is a standalone build running on my desktop. The next thing you're going to need is to download the Unity package from GitHub. And inside that GitHub are a couple of sample scenes. There's an OSC repository inside there, and also a blend shape remapper script, and that's going to get you started. Okay, so then you're going to need a 3D figure with some facial blend shapes, and it doesn't have to be the iPhone blend shapes. It will be much better. The closer you can get to the iPhone blend shapes, the better. And the last part of the video, I'm going to talk a little bit about my my studio capture space. And this is both the physical space that I sit in while I do this, and also the kind of the digital video studio, what you're using to capture the video and edit and stream whatever you want, okay? The iPhone 10, yeah, this one's pretty much a no-brainer, and it is kind of necessary. So it really can be any iOS device as long as it has the true depth sensor. So I tried to look online to see how many iPhone 10s are in circulation, and yeah, it was like tens of millions. I don't even know. The iPhone's been out for 2 years, and there are later versions. So this true depth sensor is not going away. You're going to be able to find iPhones cheaper as time goes on. The hardware might get faster. Like, I know that there's a newer version of the iPhone 10, and the rumor has it that iPhone 12 is going to still have the true depth sensor. It's just going to be hidden behind the pixel screen. So this is this technology is going to stick around. It's going to become more subtle and more embedded in more Apple product. And who knows what Apple's going to come out with. They're going to make a car. The car is going to read your expression. Like, it's the future. Okay, so pros for the iPhone 10. it's ridiculously convenient. You know, it's an iPhone. It works. There's not a lot of IT you can do to it. There are so many iPhones on the market that it has its own ecosystem of accessories and software, so that has nothing to do with live motion capture. So this is going to be around for a while. Um, what are the cons? Well, there's probably better scanners, to be honest. Like the Connect, the current 4K Connect is, yeah, it's 4K, and I think it sprays out more infrared dots on your face. Um, the other thing is that, markerless tracking is not as good as marker tracking. Surprise! Like this is all about convenience over accuracy. So now, what's my final verdict yet? Obviously, I'm doing this, so I believe in pursuing this. Um, with if you're balking about the price, wait 6 months. Look at refurbished. Apple releases has the Apple warranty, and it's like the closest thing that you can get to a sale version of a brand new Apple product. So, last I checked, January, iPhone 10 was down to like $600 refurbished, and it's even cheaper on eBay. So just wait it out. Also, I'm hoping that the true depth sensor goes to the cheaper and the lower end iOS devices, because this running on a iPod Touch would be, I mean, yeah, that's 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 going to be a winner. So next up is in the modular train. The next car is FaceCap, and that is the software that's running on the iPhone to transmit the blend shape. So FaceCap relies on built-in software on the iPhone. It's part of the AR kit, and it transmits the blend shape information over Wi-Fi. And you can see I have some older I have an earlier video where I specifically show like the new features in FaceCap that I thought were really amazing. So I've already like bumped this up. Now, what are the benefits of Beneflex FaceCap? It's a one-time pay app, and that's like everything else is a subscription. So no, I'd rather pay once and use it forever. And also, it's a you have multiple iPhones, because maybe you have multiple actors, then pay once, use it on every phone. Okay, so I also like Beneflex FaceCap because it has on-phone recording as well as the live transmission. So, that's podcast on the go. The new configuration adjustments, was that makes this app like perfect. And the app is currently under development. So there was an update just a week or two ago too. What's the con? The bad part of FaceCap is it does crash. And if you saw my other video, it crashed on the video. So also, I would say the price is a little bit of a sticker shock for an iPhone app. And to be honest, I think it's $10 more now than it was when I paid for it. So are there alternatives to FaceCap? Okay, I've got my eyes open. I am looking for alternatives. They're not really there yet. I found one called IPMA, which I assume stands for iPhone Motion Anime. I don't know what it is. Um, it sort of worked, but it didn't work. There's one called Aquifer Motion. I don't really know what anything about that. Um, some proprietary systems, iClone, Rococo, and Xsense, tie in their motion capture with the iPhone plugin that's a paid add-on. And ultimately, you know what? My final verdict is I'm going to keep my eye out for alternatives to FaceCap, but I'm a Ben Affleck fan. He just gets it. This tool works. It's designed for doing exactly this, and he's ahead of the game, so he's already, uh, you know, he's got it covered. Record on the phone and send and transmit live into an open source format to any program. So, as a workflow tool, I honestly think the bump in price was justified. Uh, in fact, in fact, uh, as an animation tool, I think he is justified in actually charging even a little more than he currently is. But the reality is that there's nothing proprietary or secret that's going on in FaceCap. So eventually, someone's going to try to make a cheaper FaceCap, and but at the moment, yes, FaceCap, 100%. I'm team FaceCap. It's great. It's worth more than it costs right now, which I think it's like $55 right now. I paid about $10 less. Get it while you can. Okay, the next pitfall in my gauntlet of fire that I ran to get this puppet working is a total surpriser. So I was spending like half a week like trying to track down a glitch in the Unity project, and it was like almost every second, kind of like on the clock. It would freeze for like 2 or 3 frames. It wasn't a big deal. It was pretty subtle, but like when you stare at something over and over and you're kind of a video person, why are you doing that? So I just like pulled apart the Unity project and I went through all the scripts and I was just like doing the memory management and just what is causing this? Like, well, it turned out it was the Wi-Fi. Okay, so here's what you gotta do. Like I was just using my normal, house Wi-Fi, which like everybody else in America, I have a cable modem from the cable company, and it's just terrible, and it tries to communicate with the outside world. And guys, I live in New York City. Like everyone walking past my apartment building with an iPhone or an Android phone, whatever, their car is trying to connect to my cable modem. This is like if I open my Wi-Fi panel, there's like 25 choices. And I live in a small apartment building with only 2 apartments, but that's just, it's crowded here. So, what I finally tracked down was that this was my Wi-Fi just stuttering like every second on the second. And so what I did was I switched my computer over to what Apple calls an ad hoc network, and Microsoft has a different word for it. Basically, the computer becomes your Wi-Fi hotspot, and then you connect your phone to the computer. So now my computer is on a landline over Ethernet, but my phone just automatically connects to my computer. So the pros of this little lesson is you need to do this. You need to use the ad hoc network or whatever Microsoft calls it. And if you're already doing like live music performance and you have OSC peripherals, and you're probably already doing this, like it's just part of what you have to do when you go into a music venue or a live venue. So the downside of this is just, when my computer restarts, it assigns a new IP address and I have to type that into the iPhone. It's pretty minor problem to see the quality that, the smooth quality that I'm getting now that I've cleaned up the Wi-Fi. So nobody wants to be your IT person, but learn this step. Make an ad hoc network. It will really like occasionally I still get dropped frames, but it's at a point now where I can't tell what's causing it. If it's Unity occasionally gets a glitch or the Wi-Fi occasionally gets a hiccup. Mostly the weakest link that I have is my video capture, and if I'm running other video layers at the same time on the same computer, then that's my video card basically running out of memory. And all right, so obviously now we're across the Wi-Fi successfully, jumped that alligator pit right into the flaming skillet of Unity. And guys, Unity, love it or hate it, it's a platform. So if you're working in 3D, VR, live interactivity, you're going to use Unity. I like Unity. I don't have a problem with it. It does have a steep learning curve. So I'd say the pros for Unity are Unity is ubiquitous. There are so many developers, including Banafleck, creating for Unity that you can really kind of extend it to anything that you need it to do. And the downsides are that if you are not if you are not tech savvy, don't even bother. Unity does have a learning curve. It's pretty steep. And not because it's so difficult, just because there are so many systems that you have to learn. And the other thing about Unity is, even though it's free, to get it functioning at the level that you really kind of want, you kind of have to spend money on third-party add-ons. So my final verdict is, look, it's taken me years to be able to put together a very simple and clean Unity project like this. So it is a skill that you have to learn over time, and your mileage will vary depending on how you drive. Okay, so once you have Unity and you're a master of Unity, 3 years later, you're gonna go to Banafleck's website and you're gonna follow the links to his live project on his GitHub, which is not under Banafleck's name, it's under the name Hizzlehoff. You go download that, because this is a necessary stepping stone into getting this puppet working. Okay. The important thing that you want to know when you're just starting this out and you don't know what you're doing is that this scenes from his GitHub, they have 2 sample scenes. They're both live. So one is the Banafleck head with all of the iPhone blend shapes. The other is like a head that is just has a few blend shapes. So you get an example of the full working figure, and one of a just kind of an ad hoc figure. And the other kind of key thing that you're going to pull from this GitHub repository is he's got a remapper script inside that is just going to allow you to use any model with any blend shape. As long as it has some facial blend shapes, you'll be able to puppet it, basically. I'm going to talk about OSC, and that stands for Open Sound Control. Now, if you've been around musicians, well, not woodwind music, but if you've been around laptop musicians, they probably have an OSC controller. It's a pretty common system. It's been around at least a decade, and there are even hardware controllers that transmit in OSC, and it's a really convenient system. It's designed to kind of punch through your firewall. It uses port forwarding. This is more IT stuff that you don't want to know, but it is kind of important because basically you're getting a faster, easier path to transmit the signal into the computer. So honestly, I think this was the way to do this. Like when I first found out that it was using OSC, I was like, why, you know, that seems like a weird way to network. But then, yeah, no, I started thinking about like basically OSC is always on, it's always transmitting, and it's just designed to like send signals in real time with as low latency as possible. And also, OSC is like amazing. It sends strings and all other kinds of variables. Like I didn't realize this. So this is I'm gonna expand into my OSC control when I start updating this Unity scene into more like what I want to do is control the cameras, control lighting, control like more asset control animation, trigger animations. And I can put OSC on like my iPod or on my you know, my iPad. There's a couple of apps to build OSC interfaces, so you can control anything that you want. You can just, this is going to be really extendable. This is a really great idea. This is again like Ben Affleck. He's one of us. He knows what he's doing. So I was pretty excited about that. Now, one thing that I do want to say is Ben Affleck or Hizelhoff put someone else's OSC repository in his download. So it's also on GitHub. It's also free, but it's also worth going and checking out that repository. And it's called, the author is called Ext, EXT. So his GitHub is Ext OSC. It's actually also on the Unity asset store. So the last important thing that is in the GitHub repository is the remapper script. And this is a pretty easy thing to set up. So basically it's just you add your model to the remapper script, and it gives you an array of all the blend shapes on your model, and you just kind of select the closest iPhone blend shape that works. And you know, if you watch my other comparison video between the Mixamo blend shapes and the iPhone blend shapes, like there's not a one-to-one correlation on a lot of these blend shapes, so you're just gonna have to make do. Okay, either you're making or you're starting to make your own blend shapes to match the iPhone blend shapes. So the reality is you know, nothing's going to beat having a model that has all the correct blend shapes in the correct order. That's going to be the fastest. But really, this remapper script, the remapper script works fine, and that's not the weakest part in this whole process. Like, so, you know, don't be worried about using a remapper script. It's fine. And if your model only has like a few expressive blend shapes, use it, try it. It doesn't, you know, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to work, and this works. So now okay, so that brings me back on the next topic, which is your 3D model. So I kind of jumped ahead, but basically we're there now. So I'm obviously using a fuse model. I think I said this before, but I don't remember. So I'm kind of glad that I'm actually making this video before I start tearing apart this fuse model and changing up the blend shapes and trying to like rig my own blend shapes and trying to, you know, turbocharge my model, because this is kind of the stock figure. This is kind of, I guess, what you could expect, maybe the best quality that you're gonna get from a stock Mixamo figure. And this is me basically working on it for like a month. Okay, so again, your mileage is gonna vary, but you know, don't be worried about just using any figure. If it's a wearable figure, if it's just a weird face, a weird puppet, like wire it up. I think actually like 2D, like a 2D figure would be pretty cool. I have no idea how to wire that up with blend chips. That would be some like Playmaker action or some kind of scripting stuff. But yeah, you know what? One thing actually that, okay, so in that other video I I got some settings wrong. Like flat up, I got some settings wrong because they just don't match at all. And what I had selected was counteracting what should actually happen. So in the weeks coming up, when we start messing around with the blend shapes, I'm going to go back into all of that and talk in some more details. So I'm not going to go into like super detail here, but basically what I want to tell you is it's better to have no blend shapes than to do the wrong blend shapes that are fighting your motion capture. So what I had was a couple of blend shapes that were actually like driving the wrong way, or they were canceling each other out the way that I had them applied. And it, like right now, I've just turned them off completely, and I think this is pretty much the best it's going to get. So again, the moral of the story is you don't have to have all 51 iPhone blend shapes. Just use what you have, and don't freak out about the ones you don't have. Honestly, I am not sure that the iPhone is capturing all 51 blend shapes on my head. Okay, so, like, does it really know the difference between me doing this and me doing that? Like, does it really know the difference? Does it know what I'm doing? I don't. Oh, okay, wait. This is going to get us into the next section. So let me just wrap this up. Use whatever model you have. Okay, so my last section, hey, how about that? We're churning through this. My last topic is the actual kind of capture environment, and that's like the physical space as well as the digital video space. But let's talk about the physical capture area first, where you're going to do this, like your podcasting or whatever this is. So this part's a little bit abstract, but I think you understand, like the physical studio. Okay, so I just gotta I gotta tell you a little story. Okay, so everybody's probably seen those videos from Kite and Lightning, the guy who does the DJ babies. He's using an Xsense suit and an iPhone. I think he used Beneflek, I'm not sure. Anyway, he's got like, the helmet and the thing and the like the angler thing hanging from his forehead. So okay, so I have the same thing, but you've seen his and you haven't seen mine. So mine is actually a Rococo Smart Suit, and I did the whole like helmet with the head mount and the little like metal arm and the clamp for the iPhone, and oh my god, I hated it. Like it was so annoying to have that heavy thing on my head. Like I have long hair, but I mean, I pulled it back in a tight ponytail, but still, like the helmet just like slid around. And it's like there is no way that I can just like talk normally with this like xenomorph alien head like balancing on my neck. Like it was just, I couldn't take it. Plus the iPhone is like in your face, like in your face. Okay, so I'm gonna call that the Kite and Lightning style motion capture, where you're also capturing your body at the same time. And obviously that's not what I'm doing here. Although I'm gonna go back to my I'm gonna incorporate my Rococo Smart Suit into some videos probably like next month in March. So stay tuned for that. Pretend that's my shout out for subscribe to my channel. So yeah, but I just couldn't take that. Like I'm not an actor. Like I can't just pretend that there's not like a bar in my face and that there's this like obnoxious thing like balancing on my head. So okay, so I stepped back and I did what I'm doing now, which I'm calling like podcast style, because basically I'm sitting at my desk and there's a microphone, and I have my iPhone mounted on a microphone stand. I bought a clamp, which also clamps onto that bar on the stupid helmet. But so it was flexible. But so I bought an adapter that switches my iPhone bracket or clamp to a microphone stand, and that keeps the iPhone level, and I can adjust it. I can adjust the height, and I can also like swing it out of the way when it's like, when I'm not using it. And I did buy a microphone just for the iPhone because it's got like a tinny little built-in microphone. So I bought like a nice a microphone that sticks into the notch at the bottom. And you know what? Then it blocked the power cord. So what I have to do is I do have to keep the phone plugged in because it does drain the battery like within. The battery would be dead. I'll say within an hour. I haven't actually just left it running to drain the battery, but you only got so much capture time, so yeah, leave it plugged in. And then I use an external microphone plugged directly into the computer. So that works better for me. And yeah, I just sit at my computer, which is a very natural activity for me, unlike balancing a xenomorph thing on my head. And I recommend that you do it in a kind of a quiet room. My office is not quiet. I live in New York City. My apartment is right next to a main artery for the Queensboro Bridge, the 59th Street Bridge. So it is never quiet. Sunday mornings I do my recordings because that's when it's quiet around here. The other issue. One more thing that I do with the microphone is I run the microphone through a different program, and I time delay it by 120 microseconds or what. It basically bumps the audio about half a second late, and that makes it line up with my mouth through the delays of the iPhone and the transmission over Wi-Fi, and then Unity turning it in, and blah 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 blah. So the other thing that you really need to know about doing this in your capture area is even though the iPhone is spraying out little infrared dots all over your face, there is a very strong infrared light source that messes this up incredibly, and it's called Mr. Sun. And as soon as Mr. Sun comes in through the window, half of my face becomes paralyzed, according to the iPhone. So yeah, this is very high tech and very very convenient and hands free. But over the course of the day, as the sun moves through the room, I lose half of my face. So in addition to having a quiet area to do the recordings, you need a place where you can either shutter the windows or just control the lighting. And you need really even lighting, because if the lighting is on one side and not the other, the iPhone does not read the same. And yeah, no amount of configuring in FaceCap is going to correct for side lighting or Mr. Sun. So the other thing that I like about just kind of doing this, so basically I just need to cap that off. Yeah, there are inaccuracies in doing this. This is not Hollywood motion capture. This is convenience. This is, podcasting. It's fun. I like it. Live theater. I would totally do this. But, if I had a Hollywood budget, no, I would not be buying a bunch of iPhones. The last thing that I like kind of about doing this podcasting style instead of the Kite and Lightning, it sounds like I'm dissing Kite and Lightning. I'm not at all. I think it's really great that he put so many videos up, and he was really open about his process. And that was a big inspiration. Definitely, I sat there and watched his videos a lot. But the other thing that I'm not I'm not a performer. I'm a controller. Like I have my gadgets and my control surfaces, and sitting at a desk is not great for charisma. I would probably rather be standing behind like a console or whatever. But there are a lot of controllers, like again, OSC controllers that I could be using. It's not just keyboard and mouse, although that too. I have one final section to tell you about, and that is the digital studio, which is basically everything after Unity, where you're recording and capturing your live performance to video. And ironically, this is the step that has forced me to re-record the ending of this video. So this step includes whatever internal screen recording software you have. The best quality you're going to get is an external hard disk recorder, maybe something that can record directly off HDMI, like an Atomos hard drive recorder. Barring that, you're going to have to do screen capture software, and I know that NVIDIA has software to speed this up. They have a special capture codec. They have live streaming directly off of the GPU. And now what I do on these setups is I usually use a plugin in Unity to output to Siphon. On PC it's called Spout. And this is a way to just send the video signal to another app. In this case, it's my video layer software, which I'm not really going to discuss because I'm not using it this time. I'm trying to bypass it to get the best quality screen recording. And that's really what you need to know, is that the biggest problems that I have now with this 3D Puppet is in the live video capture stage, this digital studio stage. So I didn't actually have a video problem this time. It was my microphone buffer, as I said, that I delay the audio a few microseconds so that my lip sync matches up with the audio. And sometimes that gives feedback on my Mac. So, it seems like it's all going to be in Unity, and that's where you're going to have your technical difficulties. And hopefully what you've learned from this video is that that is not where the process stops, and that's also not where the problems stop. So if you are familiar with live capture, if you have video tools for live video presentation, this is all going to be a lot easier than if you have not done this before. Now I'm also looking into ways where Unity can, directly stream to an internet provider or web RTC. I'm not sure. I'm still kind of trying to work out this step in a reliable way. And what I think I'm going to end up doing is using less video editing and video streaming and less video applications in general, and try to switch my entire process over to Unity, where I can use OSC and maybe some external controllers, like maybe even the app Touch OSC running on one of my iPods or an iPad to control the lighting and the camera and the various cues that I'm trying to do here. Alright guys, I think I'm going to wrap this up because I'm a day behind now that I've had to re-record this ending. I hope you got something out of this. I know this wasn't super technical and maybe a little long and rambling. I'm sorry about that, but you know what? Leave me some comments and tell me how you're doing this. What software are you using to, capture your live performance? And also, what are your goals with your live performance? Are you going to stream it online? Are you going to host a channel like I'm doing? Or are you just going to have, maybe it just becomes part of your animation workflow? Let me know, everybody. Leave me some comments and be sure to subscribe. All month we are fixing this model finally. I'm going to be adapting the blend shapes, and I'm going to be converting to whatever new systems I can find. So leave me a comment, and I will see you later this week.